Huh. Oh my god. Who are you? Why are you watching this video? Well, alright then, let's just move on then. Well, today we're looking at an iron farm for no good reason. We decided to set this thing all the way up to 768 villages because it dawned on me that we hadn't quite stress tested the dedicated server with it. So since Minerva recently upgraded, we figured why not try out upping the iron farm to its max speed. Also, the iron storage is full, so I'm going to have to get working on that. And speaking of the dedicated server, I wanted to just give a quick plug to the Patron Server. So if you don't already know what that is, Minerva Patron Server is opening on October 2nd. There are going to be two Patron servers. The Minerva Patron Server for $5 or more per month, which will basically just be a survival vanilla world with a lot of different things. Like it'll be on the Minerva Seed, it'll be hosted with our own custom mod that we use on Minerva, and there will be a lot more information in the video linked in the description below or up here if you are on PC. And for the Anarchy server, which will be for $10 a month, you guys will be able to do basically whatever you want because it's an Anarchy server. So I just wanted to plug that one more time because something interesting happened the other day. I've been splitting the revenue on my Patreon in a couple different ways because some people are paying to become patrons for the server, which is fine, and other people are pledging money to support me and my channel, which is really nice. I appreciate that quite a lot. And well, based on the money from the people who have, become new patrons, who are here to kind of be a part of the patron community, has almost gotten to the point where it can actually pay for the dedicated server. So I know that it's a little bit tacky to discuss finances, but the dedicated server is about $90 per month, and we have about $75 per month right now pledged towards people wanting to join the patron server. So we're going to have a decent amount of people who are going to be interested in joining that community, and I think it'll be a pretty cool place to hang out, and it'll pay for the server, so it'll be a continuous thing. It'll support itself, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. But as for this episode, well, let's talk about that for a second. I've been thinking a lot about the Nether Web. So, to those of you who might not have seen my channel before, this is kind of our Nether hub sort. We decided to go for a complex system of tunnels that connects every main point on our world together through a series of these tunnels. And it's a really, really nice idea that is executed in a pretty decent way, where we have all these different hubs. This is the octagon with our surrounding perimeters, and then this is connected via a short tunnel to our end hub, which is currently unfinished, and our tree farms, and then this goes to a number of different portals. And this whole project has just been not worked on because a lot of members don't actually know that the Nether Web is set up in our second creative server right here. In fact, this is the end hub that I just said was unfinished, and you can see it connects to this hub very nicely. And a lot of this is just because, lack of communication, I guess. A lot of people don't really know that this is here, but these tunnels really connect in a very, very nice way that isn't set up in survival. So, you can see there's a lot of wiring down here. This is color-coded, but over here you can see that it's nice and finished. And what is all this wiring for? And that's something that has been talked about a little bit here. So, the wiring, for those of you who don't actually know, is for this. So, all those piston bolts you just saw is so that you can hop in a minecart in the middle of any tunnel, click on a button, and then it'll automatically route your direction. So it'll redo all of the rails in between, it'll set you up, send you straight to the correct piston bolt, and off you go. And then it'll send you in the correct direction. So in this case, I clicked Mesa and it sent me down this tunnel. In fact, if I actually continue, you'll see that there is going to be a special hub right at the end because our Mesa tunnel is nice and pretty. And if this was on, let me back up. So this was never really been worked on Minerva because nobody's ever really taken this under their wing. Nobody's really gone for this project, and honestly, I've never really pushed for it because I've always thought of piston bolts as like, well, they're just kind of a slower version of what elytras can already do. That much is true. But what I never actually thought to consider is that newer Minerva members, people who are recently whitelisted and might not know their way around the server, would think this an invaluable, like, an invaluable commodity, I guess. I don't know, just a really, really nice thing to have. So, I think we should finally start pushing for this project. It would motivate me and probably a lot of other members to see that this is completed, to see that this is working, because right now it's just kind of an eyesore. If I can actually switch back into the main survival world, you can see that there's just a bunch of crap under here. There's this half-built piston bolt that's obviously broken in the middle. We can hear a gas outside. There are holes in the tunnel. Like, this whole project really looks like ruins because it's just been completely ignored, and I think it's finally time to start it. Not only is it an eyesore and it would motivate me and everybody else to have this at least a little bit more completed on here and more of a finished product to run around in, but also to teach our newer members, like, give absolutely everybody on the server a nice clean way to get around to everywhere. I think this would be really cool because a lot of people, like, they don't know we have an ice farm, or they don't know that we have a flower forest. Because look, I'm going to go down the exact path we need to get to go to our flower farm area. Right now there's just this broken tunnel. This is how I do it. I'm not even joking. This is how I've gotten here. You jump out the side of it, you fly down here, and here's a portal. And this isn't marked. There's no sign, nothing saying that there's anything here. And just like that, you're at the flower forest. I guarantee you there is a Minerva member watching right now that's gone, oh, that's where that is? And that should only strengthen my point as to why the Nether Web needs to be a thing. That was going to be a project that I was going to work on because Eretige wasn't going to do it, but looks like he took care of this. More on that in a different episode. We're focusing on the Nether Web in this one. So that's what I think I'm going to start to work on. As for me in real life, I think I waited way too many hours to start this episode today. I am personally pretty tired, but within this same episode, it'll probably be the next day for me. I think we're going to finally start actually working on that, and I think it'll be a really cool thing. So, to those of you who are watching who might be Minerva members and help out with me, I think we should just take schematics of the wiring. The wiring for the piston bolt should be the same in every spot, I think. I might be wrong on that. I'm going to have to talk to Nuke, who actually did the wiring for this quite a long time ago. And this will also be easier for, like, long distance travel, where you might come out at spawn and then just hop in the minecart in the middle of it and say, I want to go to the ice biome, which, if I can actually go to spectator mode, is actually way down this tunnel, which, if you have a really low ping and a nice connection to the server, which is kind of the same thing, is a really easy tunnel to get down. But it's so much easier if you can just hop in a minecart, click the button to go here, and then, like, check your phone, catch up on texts and whatnot, or whatever, I don't know, whatever you might be doing, just to kill some time. So yeah, for a lot of good reasons, I think we should finally start this. And I think we're finally going to start the Nether Web series, kind of like we did the Ruby Center. So, way back in the day, for those of you who might not know, this is a long time ago on my channel, I did a series on my channel called Project Ruby Center, where every single day that I worked on the Ruby Center, I made an episode on it, and called it Project Ruby Center, because this is our big storage room. Just back up and get the scenic shot. And this thing took quite a lot of effort to work on. It took us something like 19 episodes or whatever, and it was totally worth it. Because this was a project that I knew we needed done. I knew we needed to focus on it, so I just sort of made a series on it, and we worked on it until it was done. And it just started raining outside. Wow. That's kind of creepy. Glad I didn't go for a night walk. So that's kind of it. That's the end of my ramble. That's just sort of clearing my head on the whole subject. Hopefully for the rest of this episode, I'll get stuff started. Alright, so for this first episode, I'm just gonna kind of wrap it up with the wiring. I'll be doing most of this off camera, maybe even in a stream. I think it would be good for most of these episodes if I just kind of introduce the idea, what I'm going to do this episode, and then maybe do like a few hour live stream while we actually do it. That way you guys can kind of get the whole experience, but it still stays as a kind of short wrap-up video. Not wrap-up, but like a short summary video. So for this, I just want to get the wiring done. So I've made a schematic, which is just kind of in layer mode right here. And if I actually convert that to full, you'll see that there are just a lot of missing components in here. So I think I'm just going to come through, fix the main wiring of this first hub, and then just and then just kind of leave it there. Just take this step by step as to not kind of overwhelm myself. So the server was lagging, and it turns out the iron farm at 768 villages is not good. Yeah, alright. You know, I gotta say, this project's going a lot better than I thought it would. I'm actually watching Manhunt on Netflix. Manhunt Unabomber. It's about how they caught the Unabomber, which is interesting to me because as an 18-year-old, he's kind of before my time. Haven't really heard much about him or the story at all, in fact, and it's kind of interesting for me. But the reason I'm heading to spawn right now, I'm actually a little disoriented. I don't know which one spawned. Okay, I think it's over here. Nope, over here. Is that I have a cool little trick to show you guys that I learned recently. Uh-oh. Okay, I think we planned for this. Alright, I'm going to cut to an unlisted video of mine showing you this trick. Attention all my Nerva members. Thanks, Xandros. I have crafting tweaks installed because Ina told me to a long time ago and I just never did anything with it, but wow. Apparently if you hold Shift Tab, you can just spam blocks of iron just like this. I know we all miss inventory tweaks, not inventory, I know we all miss one-click crafting from back in the day, but apparently that just, I saw on the Curse Forge page that somebody tried to update it to 1.12 and there was like some kind of glitch with the crafting book where it just didn't work properly, and it seems like somebody tried to update it and it just didn't work, and I think this is a really nice this has made crafting fun. You just, like, honestly, I'm just holding down Shift and Tab and spam clicking. Not quite spam clicking, as you can see I can only go so fast. But wow, this is just so much better. Alright, so now that you saw that, I don't know how I cut it up or whatnot, but basically, yeah, you can use the crafting tweaks to shift click iron a lot faster, and it is so much easier. I mean, you can just hold it and then keep clicking, and it makes crafting just, it actually makes it fun, like an actual joy. So I think I'm gonna make this sort of a regular thing. Yeah, set it down to 192 villages. So when this thing starts rebuilding, I think I'm gonna have a lot more fun crafting up all the iron. This took way too long, but it looks so much better. Oh man. Aha. So this is why people don't do this. Okay, well, I'm just gonna leave it. It's fine. I mean, it's whatever. We get like 8 stacks of, or what is this, something like 8,000 iron an hour. So now it'll just be slightly less iron an hour.
Oh my god, are you serious?
So as I've been observing this, what inspired me to like change this lava is it's always bothered me, but I noticed that golems kind of floated up and like I think they suffocated in these blocks or they never quite hit the lava in the middle anyway. The golems that seem to swim up seem to be in the same rates that those golems were suffocating. So I honestly don't think this is hurt rates at all, and my OCD is pleased. So I'm gonna call this one a massive success. So there's really not too much wiring left to do. This has been actually a pretty fun project to work on today. It's been on and off for something like 8 hours today, and I think I am done working on this. There are just a few more things to do that I'm going to wrap up off camera here, but it's nice at least to have a lot of this wiring in place, because this middle section was basically just a giant hole before, and I'm not really sure why everybody who was working on this kind of stopped midway. But, yeah, I did get distracted at the iron farm quite a bit, because that was my way of, like, showing you what I was doing throughout the hours that I was watching this. In fact, I got, like, one more episode left in Hunted, and that's, what was it called? Yeah, I think it was Manhunt. Manhunt, that was a show on Netflix. Should definitely recommend that, or go check that out, because it was pretty good. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap up this video. First day of the Nether Web progress. This won't be, like, a daily thing, quote quote. It'll just be more like a this day I worked on, but it'll still be labeled in the way that the old Ruby Center series was. So yeah, I think this will be a pretty cool thing, and maybe this will inspire some of my Nerva members to work on it themselves, because this video is not complete if I don't show off the work that A-Chaser and Holographic Nuke did over here, where Nuke mined out this entire thing. If you guys have seen this in the videos and the streams, you would know that there was a gigantic amount of landmass down here, and, well, he took care of that. In fact, at my request, he also kept a bunch of the netherrack, because we've been building a nether brick, because the Ruby Center, not the Ruby Center, the Nether Web uses a lot of nether brick in here, and you can see that we made a design choice a long time ago to do the wiring in nether brick, because most of this is going to be visible through the ice. And this ice is actually why we built an ice farm a long time ago. Link to that in the description or up here if you're interested, because a lot of old projects revisiting the Nether Web, because we did a lot of stuff in preparation for this, like collecting 100,000 clay bricks, or clay 4 bricks, that we haven't quite totally used yet, even though we've got most of this in here. I don't know, we never really draw attention to this, but yeah, no, you see all these bricks on these walls? That was a bunch of us with shovels for hours on end. And you know what? I don't even think we streamed that. That would have been a great stream. Anyway, I totally digress. H-Acer got started on a bunch of this wiring while Nuke mined it out, and they were doing all of that in parallel with me doing this wiring. So an excellent work of us as a team there. So, yep, I'm going to end the episode on that note. Check out the Patron server if you're interested, and thanks for watching.